Hi folks, today I still talking to you about the vacuum fluorescent displays, VFD. This kind of the tubes is easy to reuse, and you can find these tubes in the DVD records and the tapes and the other kind of equipments with these tubes. The tube I'm using at this moment have a total of the 15 grids, okay? One group above, 2, 3, and below you have 12 grids where is running now the alphabet. The connection of this tube is the first two pins to right part of the filaments. The first pins to the left is also the filament, the second pin of the filament, okay? In the both side you have two pins, but these two pins have a shunt internal, and this side is the same, okay? The filament is between this point to this, okay? And they have more filaments, 3, 4, depending of the size of the display. To give the power of the filaments at this moment, I'm using 3.5 volts, okay, DC. If you have possible to power up the filament with AC is better, because you don't note the small shadows in the anode when this bright, okay. The connection of the anodes is the first pins from the right to the left, a total of the 40. I starting a count from 0 to 39, okay, and you can see here the 0 to 39, okay. These pins is the pins of the anodes of the tube, okay. The first 35 is from this to this, and represent the grid or the matrix from 5 pins to horizontal to the 7 vertical, okay. This is a group to make use to represent the alphabet or the other shards you need, okay, and you need to construct the table inside the processor to send the sequence, okay, from this side to this side, pin to pin. When you put 1 in the pin, in this case 12 volts, the respective anode will bright, okay. To make the control of this tube, I'm using a clock, a data input, a strobe, and blocking, okay. I received this information from my processor. In this case, I'm using let me try FOC. I'm using a DS $Contour 89 C450, okay, and it is a 8-bit processor, okay. Here you find the 7 ICs 4094, okay, and I'm using 7 pins, 7 ICs, because I need 55 ports to control all of the pins, because the total of the anodes from this grid, this and this and this, is a total of 55 pins, okay. 15 pins to the grids and 40 to the anodes. Okay, the filament pins is not included. Okay, it's not important to the control of the remaining parts. By this reason, I need to use 7 ICs, multiply 8 pins. You have a total of 6, but I only have 55 pins to connect here. Okay, one is remaining free. Okay, I'm using 3.5 volts DC to power up the filament. The filament is have the reference to the VFD, and I power up the ICs with 12 volts. Okay, to have the tension to the anodes with 12 volts. Okay, and you can find here 12 volts, and this is the power I'm using to make bright the anode of the tube. Okay, you can look to the symbol of the CD player running around. Okay, each anode of this symbol is polarized, and you write according of the sequence I make by the drivers. Okay, the first thing I need to do it is identify the pins of the anode of each element of this symbol. Okay, you see the pin 9, 10. Okay, this pin is the same you use to make the grid of the symbols of the charge. Okay, but is a grid different. In this case is the grid number 3. Okay, to make this bright, I need to polarize the pin of the grid 3, and at the same time put the same polarizing pin 9, 10. Okay, with the sequence I want this running. I can do it from this way or from this way. Okay, is our unit. Okay, is one example from the running of the VFD. Here you can find the 3 ICs I use to control the VFD tubes. Okay, the first IC I like explain is the UDN2981, and this IC is responsible for make the logic level of the 5 volts to the 12 volts. Okay, because to connect to 4094 I need convert the 5 volts is coming from the port of my processor to 12 volts logic of this IC. I put here the clock, data in, strobe, and the block validation. Okay, and the respective port give me the tension I put here, in this case 12 volts, and with this solve I can connect direct to the logic level of the 4094. Okay, by this reason I only use these ICs between the port of my processor to the remaining part of the 7 times 4094 ICs. If I use the 74HC595 instead of this IC, I need to convert all the pins from this IC connect to the VFD2 through the other UDN2981. In this case, if I use 7 Ds, I need 7 Ds. If I use 7 Ds, I only need 1, because make the conversion of 5 volts to 12. In this case, I need to make the conversion of all pin out of ICs to the 12 volts. Okay.